Sorry, folks, but this is the most boring schedule in college football. The one that belongs to Iowa here. Even more so when they played in the Big Ten Western Division, and we knew who 6 of their 9 opponents would be each season in the Big Ten. And then they always play Iowa State, and they don't play anyone else. So the last time Iowa matched up against a team outside the conference that was any good, a Power 4 type of opponent, was Pitt, and that's going on 10 years ago. So is this going to change? I'm actually surprised. We've covered this conversation a few times in recent months, and I'm surprised by the number of Hawkeye fans that are okay with letting the Iowa State game go. But it all starts on August 30th. That's got to be, well, it's telling me right there, an FS1 game. I was going to say it's got to be a Big Ten Network game. No, FS1 at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. You'll all be watching. Albany taking on Iowa. Then the trip to Ames, Iowa to take on Iowa State. That should be a heck of a ball game. Both teams are ranked and evaluated, rated just to be pretty much on that same 25 line, somewhere close to that, very fringe top 25 teams. Iowa State and Iowa get together. That's a Fox game. So that is the best Fox could do on week 2, lining up Iowa State at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Of course, the Hawkeyes lost this game on a walk-off field goal last year. UMass, the Minutemen, quite the matchup there. That's a Big Ten Network game, a night game for Iowa and UMass. Then we get into Big Ten play. A Friday in Piscataway, New Jersey, with Iowa visiting Rutgers. The last time the Hawkeyes and the Scarlet Knights got together, Iowa pitched a 22-0 shutout. That's a Fox Friday night game. Of course, Fox is going with that second year now of primarily Big Ten games on Friday nights, some Big 12 games as well, but primarily from the Big Ten on Friday nights for Fox. And a lot of mid-tier, mid-level type games like this one, Iowa at Rutgers. Iowa took on UCLA at the Rose Bowl on a Friday night last year. Indiana at Kinnick. Interesting game. So if the Hawkeyes and the Hoosiers make it to this point undefeated, that will mean that Indiana got past Illinois and Iowa got past Iowa State. So it's possible that we could arrive at the final weekend of September and have an Indiana-Iowa showdown at Kinnick Stadium. Then the bye week, then the trip to Camp Randall Stadium, and Iowa has, after years of Wisconsin gaining the upper hand in this series, Iowa has been the better team in recent years. Won last year 15-6. Was that the 15-6 game? Iowa and Penn State at Kinnick. The last time these two got together at Kinnick, I believe, was 2021. Iowa pulled out the win, knocked out Sean Clifford. But the two teams got together 2 years ago in Happy Valley, and that was not much of a game. And that is part of Iowa's streak against better teams that has been pretty brutal. I posted on Twitter a couple weeks ago that Iowa against ranked opponents since defeating Minnesota in 2019 is 1-14, and most recently against really high-level competition. A couple games against Ohio State, 56-10, 38-7, 35-7. Michigan, Big Ten championship game, of course, one of those two matchups. Blowout, 42-3. The Penn State 31-0 shellacking. Tennessee 35-0. Just time and time again. after going through a nice run of being able to stack up against those types of teams and occasionally pulling out the upset win, the famous Ohio State upset of 2017, where they shellacked the Buckeyes 55-24, and then some near misses against Penn State in particular, but they beat Michigan in 2015, a Michigan team that was ranked in the top 5 in the country. So they went through a nice run of really challenging the best teams in the Big Ten. But here in the last 5 or 6 outings, it's been ugly. At Kinnick against what could be, we see a 1 next to Penn State's name. I don't know what FBS schedules does there, where the estimation comes from there, but would not be surprised if Penn State is the number 1 team in college football when they visit Kinnick on October 18th. This, in fact, is a pretty difficult run. Indiana, Wisconsin, which pretty much certified as the most difficult schedule in the Big Ten. Indiana, Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota, Oregon, USC. In terms of the Vegas point spread, Indiana at Iowa, I would expect the Hawkeyes at this point to be a slim favorite. 2, 3, 4 points. At Wisconsin, slim, minute favorite. 1, 2, 3 points. Penn State at Iowa, Hawkeyes an underdog, but by less than a touchdown. Minnesota at home at Kinnick, Iowa's going to be a 3, 4 point favorite. Oregon at Kinnick, and now we're delving into November, so we got to speculate pretty heavily on where these teams are going to be at this point, and you got to think that Iowa will probably have, let's say, 2 losses. Let's say they've got 2 losses. I actually think they're going to be doing pretty well to only have 2 losses at this point, 5, 6, 7. They're going to have 2, 4, 5, 8 games in when Oregon comes to town. So if they're 6-2, that would be solid. But Oregon's going to most likely be a solid favorite at Kinnick, and then Iowa goes out to the LA Coliseum, where they will probably be a slight dog there. Michigan State, Nebraska. That's a tough schedule. Michigan State was good enough to win that game against the Hawkeyes last year.